everyone. We are ready for our next run that is going to be a Pump It Up Phoenix showcase um done by our very own Zello. Take it away, Zello.
Thank you, Fox. Hi, everyone. I'm Zelo or Zello, however you say it. Doesn't ever matter. I'm glad to be back for PUWP Pride since I wasn't able to make it for Winter Pride last year. And you're probably thinking, what is this giant doohickey behind me? Well, Pump It Up is a dancing game made back in 1999 by Andamiro to be DDR's kind of Korean rival. And we are actually going to be celebrating 25 years of Pump today. This game got a 2.00 update with a brand new content and UI refresh just a few weeks ago. You can see the nice 2024 logo on the title screen, or you could, even though we only have the 2023 header up there. But I'm going to take you through a fun music game showcase. This game is awesome. I always highly recommend it, especially since it's fairly accessible compared to a lot of other music games due to a lot of outside factors. But with me, I have my two wonderful commentators, my lovely wife, Haru, and my lovely bestie, Mina. If y'all want to introduce yourselves real quick.
Haru. I will be doing most of the commentary, and you will also see me on screen. I hope so, because we had an incentive for this run to do co-op. Was it made, by the way?
Yes, we did meet that co-op incentive.
Oh, that's good. So you will see me on screen. And Mina, would you introduce yourself too?
Hi, I'm Mina. I don't play Pump, but I really like Cross Time, and I'm here just to make sure that Cross Time gets played.
Sounds good.
Yeah, she is the cross time enjoyer, and pretty much because of her, I put that in the marathon instead of something else, and I think that's for the better. But anyways, I do want to give a few quick shout outs. Big shout outs to all of y'all watching for this great marathon. Big shout outs to everyone who donated, especially for the co-op incentive that you'll see. So we'll play 4 co-op songs in the middle of the set when Haru's like right upstairs actually, and she'll come down for that. So we'll have fun with that. So thank you all for meeting those, and big shout outs to Andamiro, especially for continuing to develop this long-running music game, even though the game barely breaks even for them in terms of money, but they still keep making it. So we're always appreciative. But hey, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started here. We can just go ahead and start the timer. I will get started with my set, and Mina and Haru can take over.
Yeah, Joe will not be talking during this game because he's gonna be playing and there will be no time and no breath for him. So, if you're not familiar with this game, it's a dance game. You press panels on the platform according to the arrows going up on the screen. The main difference of this game from DDR is it has 5 panels on a platform, and they located in the shape of X, unlike DDR, which is vertical cross. Which actually gives us a lot more freedom in what kind of movement you can do with this layout. So, Zilla is playing on one platform for now, only on one side. And he's starting somewhere in the middle of the difficulty range. When you start the song, you will see numbers on screen, so those numbers indicate the difficulty. The hardest single in this game is 26, but it starts at 1, so if you feel intimidated by what you see, don't be. There is much easier stuff in this game. But maybe it's a bit boring to show all the easy stuff, so Zero starts in the middle. This is level 16, and the song is bit rare. It's made very long time ago. It's an original composed specifically for the game, but by an old in-house group called Banya. Stepchart is not that old, by the way. It was added about, 10 years ago in Prime?
Yeah, weird to think that 10 years is actually kind of not that old in terms of this game, because it's been around for 25 years.
Yeah, Dilo's been playing for definitely more than 10 years, so for us it feels like, it's been yesterday, and then you look at time frame and, wow, it's been already 10 years ago. Wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, we're all rhythm game old heads, so every now and then it's like you think about a song and you're like, yeah, this is relatively new, and then you go and you look and it's from a version that came out 15 years ago, and you're like, huh, I mean, I guess I wasn't in high school the first time I played it.
Doing some cute spin at the very end. And now we're getting to result screen. So we're gonna get a result screen after every song. And as you can see, it's a whole arcade machine, so there is a limited number of songs you can play at once. It's called credit. We don't have to like insert coins or anything. We're on free play with this game, but still the game breaks every 3 or 5 songs depending on the settings, and you have to restart. Another original song, and we're going up a bit in difficulty. I think Zilla decided to start with very twisty songs this time. Unlike 4-panel games, Pump It Up uses a lot of twisting on the pad, and most of those twists actually resolve, which feels really good. In DDR, you never know if it's gonna resolve or not.
Yeah, the 5 panels definitely give you a lot more freedom for what you can do with your charting, especially for doubles. If you're familiar at all with DDR doubles with the 4-panel design, there's really, really awkward patterning that comes when crossing between the two sides. It's a lot more fluid in this game.
Yeah,
we'll definitely get into that a little bit later.
DDR is very limiting, but we will see doubles later on in the showcase. First, we're starting with only 1 panel to just get used to what we see on the screen. Also, unlike DDR, this game colors arrows not according to their rhythm, but according to their position on the platform. So, reds are up panels, blues are down panels, and center is yellow. Unlike DDR and ITG and Step Maniacs, where the coloring depends on quantization of note, if it's 4th note or 12th note or whatever note it is. Such a great song. Also pretty old, but not as old as Betrayer.
Yeah, there's no bad songs in this game.
I would argue with this, but it all depends on taste, but some songs are worse than others for sure. Though there is such a huge variety of music in this game, I'm sure everyone can find something they would like.
I like crossover songs from O2 Jam. Fortunately, we got a couple of those.
Yeah, this game has a different genres of music. There are original songs, there are licensed songs like world music, there's also a lot of K-pop since it's a Korean game. This song Zero is playing right now, it's also a crossover from an American release of Pump It Up called Pump It Up Pro. They decided to unite both games and use several songs from Pump It Up Pro, but they made all the new steps for Korean release.
Yeah, the whole Pump It Up Pro, that's like its own crazy story that we don't have time to get into today, but wow, like look that up sometime.
Yeah, they made a lot of changes to the step charts in Phoenix because they changed how the scoring works, and they also decided to make the game slightly more friendly to people who just starting to get into this game, so they removed a lot of visual gimmicks, and this step chart in particular lost a slowdown. But us old school players, we get very upset about it. We want all our visual gimmicks because it's fun. Yeah, there was a slowdown right here, but there is no more slowdown. And for those who doesn't know, slowdown means the arrows will be more compressed on screen, they will be close to each other.
Very, 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 very divisive mechanic for sure.
This song is very popular, but I'm honestly not a fan. There is a full version of this song, like long version, and it lasts 6.5 minutes. The longest song in this game. But gladly, we're not gonna play any full songs or remixes in the showcase, only regular songs.
Absolutely perfect!
And let's get to the PG again. PG is short for perfect game, as you can see a small text on screen. recall those plates, and they were introduced in Pump It Up Phoenix. Because just a grade is often not enough to celebrate your achievements. Like, you can get an A with 20 misses, or you can get an A with 1 miss. And plates help you to show how many misses you got. Oh, we get into interesting stuff here. This is a new song for Phoenix.
Oh, mod chart shenanigans. Let's go.
Yeah, and pretty much you have to either know the song very well or memorize the whole chart because it has stops in it, and unlike in some other games, the arrows stop right on the step zone, so you don't have time to react. You have to know they're coming and when they're coming. It's really fun though. But I know many people struggle with things that they have to memorize, or they have to use their ears for and not just reflexes. This song is also in many games. I think it was in Tone's Fair, and it's also in Chrono Circle. In Phoenix, Endemir decided to take a slightly different route from before and license more known, more meme songs, more BMS songs, so they try to attract people who play other games to try Pump It Up.
Yeah, it's been really nice seeing like all the guys and gals and indie pals and everyone in between that have worked so hard on BMS stuff getting into the limelight for more and more games. Because for a long time it was nothing, and then they started showing up in everything, and it's really great to see them getting the success they deserve after putting so much work into the community for free all these years.
Well, I heard BMS licenses are getting cheaper, so that's probably why we get more BMS and other rhythm games. For those who doesn't know, BMS are fan-made files for emulators of Bitmania 2DX. It's a DJ kind of game, so you have buttons, you have a turntable. And BMS has several contests where artists can dig in and get some recognition. Lots of artists got known after participating in the BMS contest.
Yeah, it ended up kind of being a proving ground for everyone as far as rhythm game music goes.
Music selection in BMS contest is always so good, so good.
And then you end up with stuff like Freedom Dive that just kind of eclipses BMS in terms of being well known, but wow. Also, shoutouts to Yamashura.
Yeah, Yamashura is actually an American composer, and he's also a math professor. So
he's a really funny dude too on Twitter.
Yeah, lots of songs he composes have names connected to math, like theory of some problems or equations. This one is not though. It's from his Allegro series. He composed a total of 3. At least we have 3 in Pump It Up. And this step chart is not quite usual. You may see those tappings and you have to actually tap. You can try to foot switch those, but I'm not sure if they resolve if you foot switch. So to foot switch means you have to press 2 different feet on the same panel. Like you press with one foot, you leave that foot, and you press with the other foot. If for some folks who come from 4-panel games, it's a very common technique, but for us who play Pump It Up and main Pump It Up, it's not so common. Get some time to get used to it. Yeah, and definitely you can't foot switch those side ones. So need some bounciness in your feet.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes, go ahead.
We have a $20 donation from DJ Pandaga. Hey, Zelo! Thanks for showcasing Pump It Up for Pride, Paul.
Yay! Thank you, friend! That was a really, really great performance. This step chart is not easy even for its difficulty.
Absolutely perfect.
Just a couple great and one good, and you can see a different play this time extreme game. It means that there was at least one good in the score.
Before I start my next song, I do need to give kind of a flash warning. There are some flashing effects at the very end of it, so if they make you feel uncomfortable, just look away for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, this game, especially in older background videos, has a lot of flashing, but sometimes they also like to add some visual effects like color blinking on screen or arrow blinking or even cabinet lights. They can control how cabinet lights blink, and sometimes it may be too bright or too fast. So we always try to give a warning in case you have photosensitivity of some kind.
Yeah, and honestly, just the note scroll can be disorienting sometimes too. So, like the game says, like if you feel funny, like stop looking at it and just vibe to the music. Like there's no shame in taking care of yourself if you need to.
There is a question in chat, what is N and P on the screen. So in PUWP Phoenix specifically, they introduced premium mode. You have to pay 2 credits to play premium, and it offers you some unlocks and also possibility to play co-op and use several modificators that are not available in normal mode. If you're in United States, it's possible that your arcade has a special version where it's premium by default as long as you log in with your card. And if your arcade has older game, you would never see that. Yeah, typically we also have 1 credit premium on at home, but for the showcases it's much better to have 5 songs per credit and not 3. Here is a slowdown we were talking about. Also a very old song with a pretty new chart. I know lots of people don't really like this song, but I find it pretty cool. And if you have not been following, we already jumped up in difficulty from 16 all the way to 21, and it's gonna be only higher for singles from now on.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to doubles yet. That'll be in the back half of the showcase.
Well, we're gonna go down for doubles for a bit just to show slightly easier stuff as well.
Absolutely perfect.
Another perfect game, absolutely perfect score from Absolutely Perfect Gamer.
Next stage.
And don't forget to hydrate if you play any active games, it's really important. Just as Zil reminds us by his example. This is a world music tune from Mad Duke. And there is a very cute mascot character, David, in this background video. PUWP is notorious to have background videos for most of its songs, and a lot of them are really cool and really fun. And gladly, nowadays we have a background filter so we can dim the brightness slightly. Because some backgrounds are very bright and it's hard to see the arrows that you have to press. Here's the
See a lot
David
more
mascot.
brackets in this one.
Yeah, the higher in difficulty you get, the more technique you will encounter in step charts. So, in lower difficulties it's usually just one thing, either brackets or turns or runs or something. And the higher you get more combination of everything. Like you see turns here, you saw brackets, there will be a run as well. For those who doesn't know, a bracket means you have to press 2 panels at the same time but with 1 foot only. And it requires some adjustment and learning some technique unless you have like giant feet. But you still can press brackets with smaller feet, you just need to figure out how to position your feet. And it's much easier on new style platforms like Zero has here. In older days we used to have metal brackets in the corners, which would make brackets much harder.
Yeah, I remember playing in the groove on converted DDR cabs and having that problem with hands. Like, you really couldn't bracket on old DDR machines. You had to use your hands or risk dropping your combo if the machine didn't have the brackets taken off. Like, these old pads can be a little hard to hit multiple buttons and such on with only one foot, but the new machines, they're much flatter. It's much easier to do that, and of course, Step Maniacs actually has a completely flat pad with pressure-sensitive panels, which makes it even easier to bracket. So, like, they're learning.
I'm not a fan of completely flat pad because I get lost, and it's also easy to trigger the neighbor panel if your foot technique is not very precise.
Yeah, it definitely takes a learning curve. It's a lot like playing on the Cobalt Flux pads from back in the day.
Next
I honestly don't mind brackets myself, but it's because I started a long time ago and I'm used to it, but also all the pads I played on usually were very well modded, so they were close to flat, but not flat.
Do we have time for another quick donation?
Oh yes, go ahead.
We have a $5 donation from Tempest Mask 1000. We're big time gaming on day one. Welcome back, Power Up with Pride. Let's smash it for True Colors United, friendos. Zello, it's always a joy to watch you blast through these rhythm games. Looking forward to catching up with you at SGDQ. The donation is going towards the Jazz Punk bonus Quake Agent run and the English poll for the Castilia Protocol voice language poll incentive.
This is also a BMS song. Maybe Rondo.
What song is it, Friend?
Yes. Friend Fiend. Because R is in parentheses. But nobody calls it that, everyone just says friend. It depends on the chart though. Because hard difficulties for this song are real hard. Like, this is 200 BPM and there's a fast slowdown of 16 thoughts here. Which we're coming into and it's gonna start right now. And there's gonna be lots of run at the end.
It is BMS. It's from PUWP 2017.
Some bracket drills here, fast turns, and we're almost done with this song.
Excellent! You did a really great job!
And with this, I'm gonna head out for a bit so I can warm up real quick and we'll play co-op set in just a bit. Be back soon.
Next stage.
I'm
Fantastic.
leaving you with Mina for now.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
That's a questionable decision. What's up, Fox?
Hey! I don't think it's a questionable decision at all. You all are amazing. The rhythm game community is amazing. I always love seeing rhythm games at these marathons because I feel like they just give a little bit extra, like a little sprinkles on top, right? We're so used to seeing high level play going as fast as possible and with just traditional speed runs. And I feel like rhythm games really embody that same high level skill and speed, but just in a completely different way that I always love seeing at these events.
Yeah, and the thing that's funny too is like, part of the reason that Zelo and I both do rhythm game showcases as often as we can is to show that anyone can do them. Like, anyone can speedrun. Like, you
Right.
can put yourself on these stages. Like,
Right.
it takes putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just I kind of was thinking about it when we were talking about like the stages earlier in stage design and how much accessibility that this community has kind of brought you know to the gaming scene. Really love how different rhythm games like y'all were mentioning how DDR versus Pump It Up, how it can cater to different people's styles, and it's just really fantastic to see those being showcased here at marathons, just like here at Power Up with Riot.
And that's actually part of why Pump is as big as it is accessibility. For a long time, it was the most accessible dance game because the cabinets were relatively inexpensive. They still are relatively inexpensive for what you're getting, but like it really wasn't as big in North America when dance games were kind of in their first big boom in the early mid-aughts. But Pump is massive in South America. Like, it's huge in Oceania. It's huge in Europe because it was so much cheaper for them to get a hold of compared to DDR cabs,
Right.
which we didn't have official DDR outside of East Asia until relatively recently, like in the last decade or so.
Right.
So that is part of how Pump got as big as it did, because they were able to actually get the cabs out into the wild, and they were relatively affordable.
Absolutely. It looks like we are getting ready for the co-op here.
Yeah, and I think our first co-op song is another classic that the old heads might recognize. Little Beethoven Virus. Never for anybody.
Oh man, that is. I admit I had a rhythm game phase. I think we've all had a rhythm game phase. Oh man, that is a classic, absolute classic. And while we're waiting, do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, I think so.
We have a $25 donation from Anonymous, saying Happy Pride. That is going towards the Jazz Punk bonus Quake agent run, and the Spanish for Callisto Protocol voice language poll incentive.
Now, you'll notice with the co-op charts, we've got two distinct colors of arrows, and Haru's going to have one of them, Zilo's going to have the other, and they're going to be dancing around each other. This is a game mode that actually requires you to understand how the person you're playing with moves, so you end up seeing a lot of couples play it together, a lot of good friends. There are some friends of mine that play Step Maniacs teams, which is a similar charting style for that game, and you get tangled up really easily. It's a really fun mode.
It's like my immediate thought is like, this is Twister for adults.
I mean, Twister is Twister for adults, but yeah, like this is
you know what I mean.
Yeah, if you're not close with the person you're playing co-op with before you start, you're gonna be close.
This is so fantastic to watch. Just really unique, honestly. We don't get to see a lot of co-op in the marathon scene, so it's really cool to see this.
Yeah, it's a really unique game mode. There's some really interesting co-op and freestyle charts. That's another thing that Pump's done in the past, is freestyle charts that are kind of intended to have routines or something a little less stringent that go to them. There is one for, it's actually my favorite dance game chart of all time. There is a freestyle chart for a song called Pink Fuzzy Bunnies, and literally all you're doing is hopping across the pad for 2 minutes straight. It's very good, and it requires 4 people to do it.
Oh my goodness.
You're literally just running in a circle around the pad to get back in line so you can hop across the pad. It's so good.
That's hilarious.
We actually do have more charts like those now with Bad Apple Full and Heart Rabbit Coaster. So if you really want to be a bunny, you can do it now.
That's amazing. That
Also,
is
real quick before we
amazing.
start the next song, I do have one last flash warning. This one involves colors on the arrows. They'll be flashing a little bit. So just a heads up for y'all.
Yep, I was about to mention that. And of course, stay hydrated.
Yes, of course, stay hydrated. That applies to you too, chat. Stay hydrated.
And it's also 6:30 on the East Coast, which is medicine time for some people. So med check, take your meds if you need to.
Oh man, that's a good point. That is a good point. Really? My
Another
cat has
absolute
decided to invade the hosting booth.
banger. You can already see we're going to be getting in each other's way a little bit here with this chart.
Mm-hmm. Honest, enjoying vibing to the music.
Yeah, same. But you can also kind of start to see with the co-op charts what Haru and I were mentioning earlier with how the extra panels and the layout gives you a lot more freedom for moving across two paths for doubles.
Right.
It'll be even easier to see when you're able to play doubles without having to worry about, taking out your significant other like they are right now. But it's really really an interesting thing that they can do just by changing the shape of the pads somewhat.
Just truly impressive to see this show of skill.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have half doubles charts as well that just used the 6 middlemost panels. Those were really interesting.
Oh yeah, that sounds like that could be interesting. Talk about getting close and personal.
Unbelievable! You are the next stage.
Okay, chat has confirmed that half doubles charts still exist, so good, because they're good charts. Ah, yes, more of the crossovers from O2 Jam. Headless Chicken, another legendary song from O2 Jam. R300K, very prolific artist in that corner of the scene.
Oh, I love that album cover. You know what I also love? Giving an update on our incentives. For that Callisto Protocol voice language poll, we mentioned it a couple of times because we've gotten quite a few donations towards it. Currently in the lead is Japanese with $50, followed by Spanish with $25. Italian and German are tied at $10, and English is with $5. We of course have plenty of time for you to donate towards that and all of our other incentives. We still have that Jazz Punk bonus Quake Agent Run incentive, currently $50 at that $300 goal. Remember, when you donate, you are able to donate to both a poll and a target. And of course, your donations are going towards a great cause, our wonderful charity, True Colors United.
God, this song rules.
It really does. It really, really does.
It actually features my favorite mechanic in rhythm games, which is confusing you with 3/4 timing.
Oh, we love that. Immediately sending me back to my high school marching band days.
Yeah, there's a handful of genres in rhythm games that just, for whatever reason, are just married to the idea of putting you into 3/4 timing. And for some reason, Gabber is one of them. That happens a lot in Konami's Gabber songs. Headless Chicken does it.
Next
There's just a handful of genres where it's just really common to throw in 3/4 timing just because someone really wants to chart with 1/12 notes. And that just also happens to be something that I'm really good at for no apparent reason.
No, fair. That's fair. It's a skill, right? And we all have our own skills, and it's really cool to just see how how everyone's unique skills can shine, in this space.
I want to give a quick shout out real quick because this will be our last co-op song together. So this is Little Munchkin. This is actually the last added in a couple patches ago. Came from the mobile PIU game, but the background was actually added in the arcade version and made by two of our community friends, Jahez and Mimi Chair. So we want to give big shout outs to them, especially since we all love cats.
Yep. Cute.
We do love cats.
I say as mine is currently staring at me because I am paying attention to hosting instead of her.
How dare.
I know. How dare I? How dare I want to be here and support these runners and support our awesome charity here at Power Up with Pride. Can we get some cat emotes in the chat?
Yeah, going back to the accessibility talk from earlier, maybe less emphasis on accessibility to a degree, but one of the nice things about this game is Andamiro will just let you put your cabinet online for free. If you have a hard drive, and it's a legitimate hard drive, and you can get the hard drive to boot into the game, as long as you're not doing it illegally, if you have a license to run the software, if you can figure out how to get it to boot, they'll let you run it on like the weirdest, jankiest setups. I mean, you're still going to pay out the nose for the hardware, but like if you can get a hold of a cabinet and a real hard drive, they'll get you online, and it doesn't cost you a penny to do it.
So cool. Yeah, definitely. I know that's one of the big things with rhythm games is that cost center, because you're like, how am I gonna get a hold of a cabinet and all this hardware and stuff? But I would say that the rhythm game community is one of the most accepting and the most open and, just supportive. And, they will help you get there. And that's what I love about this. It's like what I love about what we do. And that's why I think they fit so neatly and snugly into these marathons. It's just because we are here to help each other. We are here to help our charities, and we are here to help our fellow community members, because they are just, even if they're not here on the stage, they are just as important to us and what we're doing here as anybody else.
Yeah, like with rhythm games, from my perspective, yeah, as long as you're not worried about playing like the official game, as long as you're able to come up with some money to put a controller together or buy a controller, like we can figure out some other way to scratch the itch. It's the controller that is really the challenge. And after that, like, the world's your oyster.
Yep. Oh, it's so cute. These
And
backgrounds
yeah.
are adorable.
And I'm back.
Welcome back, Haru.
Welcome
Thank you for
back.
co-op.
This is, by the way, a very fresh song. It was added just at the end of May to the game. It's
Wow.
also, yeah, it's a cover of some Korean song, apparently. So I heard there was a question about half doubles. Half doubles exist, as in there are doubles that only use middle 6 panels, but there is no more separate difficulty for half doubles. All the half doubles are just marked as doubles. So technically they do not exist anymore.
Gotcha.
At least not in this game.
Do we have
If you
time
put-
for a quick donation?
Go ahead.
Yeah. We have $5 from Anonymous. Watching watching Pump It Up is always so fun, but watching it co-op, wow, this is just amazing. And I had to donate just to say that. That's going towards the Jazz Punk bonus Quake Agent run and French in the Castillo Protocol voice language poll.
Yeah, you may have noticed during BitTorrent virus, Zelos did the spins, I did not, so you can play some things in different ways in this game, and that's a great think about this. So I know some people have such tight footwork they can just manipulate the turn patterns and just face forward and move their feet very slightly and still get perfects. But both Zilo and me, we just prefer to do the turns as much as we can. Easier for old school players this way. So this is we moved to doubles, and this is double 16. We started doubles on the same difficulty we started singles on. It's somewhat mid-range. The chart itself is not very hard for 16. Maybe even a 15 or like 14. It's fun though, and it's a very, very fun song.
Next stage.
You can also start to see that fluid movement between the two sides, which, again, you could see it a little bit during the co-op charts, but it was kind of hard to tell because a lot of co-op is staying out of each other's way.
Yeah, during co-ops you usually move sides either on top 6 panels or on bottom 6 panels. Sometimes there are patterns where one stays on holes on one side and the other can do some twists in the middle, but usually co-ops are more straightforward. While on doubles you can do a lot of things. There's lots of possibilities for twists, there's lots of possibilities for fast movement from side to side, we sometimes call it flying. There's also there's lots of combinations for breakits you can do on doubles as well. Some doubles also require you to jump, split jump when one of your legs is in one corner and the other is on the opposite corner diagonally.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
I don't think Zero is gonna show anything like this, but for some of these charts you need some good stretching. This song is actually a contest winner, and the mirror sometimes holds contests for user-generated content like avatars, music. They also used to do step contests. This is a really good song. And the character you can see in the background video also was from the contest. So one of the players drew that character and the team just animated the video. So as you can tell, there are many ways to make up difficulty in doubles in Pump. You can either have lots of runs, or you can have complicated to read twists, or you can have like fast movement where you need speed. There are also stop charts like we've seen on singles, and there will be a stop chart a bit later on. So if you want to be a competitive player in this game, you need to learn all the skills. And there is pretty big competitive scene for this game. There are lots of local tournaments, there are also international tournaments. There used to be even World Pump Festival organized by Andamiro, but sadly they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, COVID kind of did a number on a lot of things, unfortunately.
New tunes. Difficulty zone level 17, level 20.
Zero's movements up slightly faster in difficulty on doubles, because the hardest difficulty available in this game for doubles is level 28. So we're currently at level 20, and I think Zill's gonna end the showcase on level 26. Which is
Gee,
very...
this song sure does sound familiar.
Yeah, this song uses tunes from Tetris, as you can also see the blocks in the background. I forgot how many tunes this one uses, but there's also a different song called Panter's Quattro, and that one uses 4 tunes from Tetris.
Yeah, worth pointing out as well that a lot of the Tetris music is traditional Russian folk music, so it's not necessarily the Tetris song, but yeah, like it's definitely a song that us Westerners know from Tetris.
Very true.
It's easier to say it's Tetris song. More people would recognize it. Especially with the background connected to like old school 8-bit games.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to call it the Tetris song than Kordobushka, because nobody knows what that is, but if you say the Tetris song, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that joint. That song whips. We got Space Invaders here too now?
Yeah, some Space Invaders hints.
Yeah, this is just the arcade takeover. Yep, Type A it is. Kordobushka is the Type A music.
Parabeniki.
Absolutely perfect! Next stage. Level 29.
Oh, this is interesting. You're gonna see something really interesting. So, this is kind of a meme step chart. Stepmaker hard-coded the speed mod so you can change it, and it's really slow speed mod. A lot of people just straight out not capable to read it, they have to memorize it. First half looks normal, but second half you will see. It's scary.
Yeah, shoutouts to slow scroll speed. It's a very good gimmick.
I see a question in chat about how accurate the calorie counter is. So, I seen a video how the calorie count was set up, and back in the day, like in early 2000s, they put a player in like all the measuring equipment, and the player was playing no bar and in very not conservative style, like moving very far, doing some freestyle movements. So for that style of play, it's accurate. But if you play nowadays, like conserve your movement, play with the bar, you usually just divide the counter by 2 or by 3, and that will be more accurate.
Yeah, plus you have to take into account everyone's body is different. Everyone's metabolism is different.
Also, it counts calories in a weird way. It counts every panel you press, regardless if there was arrow in there or not. So if you like ghost step, and you will have more calories on screen than if you don't ghost step. And you also can get 0 calories if you play a step chart where there are only holds and you sit on the pad in advance and don't move at all. You also get 0 calories on co-op because they don't know how to calculate that.
I somehow just accidentally opened Steam Big Picture mode.
Absolutely perfect!
Wow.
but yeah, in short, calorie counter, not scientific. It's fun, but
Not
use it to like keep track of like your exercise.
what I'm saying is it was scientific, but for different conditions. Like I found a video where they show exactly how they measured the calories. So the person is wearing like all those, heart rate sensors and stuff like that. But it's just for different conditions, not for modern style of play. But they never changed the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to like play that exact situation in that exact style, I guess it's probably accurate enough.
I don't think anyone is capable to play that exact style anymore. It's like you just can't. You need to lift your knees almost like up to your waist. That kind of play style. And trust me, there were people who did play the game like this. I even knew a couple people. Back in the day, we didn't even know how to break it, so people use their hands, or if it was jump and not hold, they just slide real quick on the panels.
Back in the day, we were still arguing about whether or not using the bar was cheating.
Yeah, like Endemir official tournaments did not have bar allowed until 2011. So up till then, lots of countries still had their tournaments where the bar was not allowed. And to be honest, some Latin American countries still think that bar records are not as good as no bar records. Even though step charting style changed a lot, and it's pretty hard to play no bar with modern style of charting because of how many runs there is nowadays. Like, runs no bar are really hard.
Yeah, there are a handful of players that still play no bar at a very high level, and they're all just absolutely cooking for doing it. Like, shoutouts No Bar Ben.
I used to play no bar.
Wild.
Yeah, I used to play no bar up until like 2015. So I'm still relatively good with no bar and relatively comfortable, but I know modern players just can't let bar go even on co-ops, and they keep hitting each other because they can't move freely around the pad. So if you wanna play co-op, you need at least some level of skill playing no bar.
Just get longer arms, I don't see the issue.
By the way, if you see that small number underneath the score, it means Zilo got a personal best, and that number is improvement from his previous personal best, at least in Phoenix. So PBA! This is a really pretty song. But the double chart is also very tricky because of how many twists and weird angle runs it does.
Alright, I'm gonna need to enforce serious time until cross time is over so that we can all appreciate the absolute peak Brandy banger that's about to happen.
Okay.
Because this song is so good.
Oh yeah, so the gimmick in this step chart comes from mission mode, so it's not typical for arcade. Some parts you can't actually see, but it shows you in advance, like it shows you there are double taps and then those taps turn into single steps, but you still know you have to press them twice. There are also like invisible nodes, some stops, speed ups. Mostly because the step chart came from mission mode, but everyone liked it so much they just decided to add it. Yeah, you've seen here the drill was just straight out invisible. So it's pretty much another little memorization thing. I also find it funny that in this background, the two characters are girls, and in original they were two boys. Or at least,
they knew what they were doing.
well, people like lady-looking characters more, apparently.
Yeah, sure, that's what it is. But yeah, like I mentioned much earlier in the showcase, that's another crossover from O2 Jam, which is I don't know if you can argue that O2 Jam is still alive because it's a shell of its former self, but it was an online rhythm game, 7 key game similar to, but legally distinct from D-Mania 2DX. And a lot of songs that were originally written for O2 Jam kind of found a second life in PUWP and other games. So it's nice that some of those songs got to break out into another life and be reimagined as dance game charts, because they're really good charts.
I'm also not familiar with what AutoGem does, but I know in PUMP they did some funny missions when they straight out took chart from AutoGem or Easy to DJ and used it as a PUMP step charts, and it's unplayable. But gladly the mission requirement was very chill, like just giant life bar and mash a bit or something like that.
Yeah, all the Korean music games have crossed over with each other at one point or another, it feels like.
Well, Pump It Up never had a crossover with DJ Max and probably won't. I don't know, they just don't seem to wish to cooperate, but other games, yeah. There are lots of Korean rhythm games. Like, one of the composers for this game, Doin, he's also making his personal rhythm game.
These runs are wild.
Yeah, so this is a level 23 on doubles, this is 183 I think BPM, and that's what you get for level 23, lots of fast runs. This is also considered pretty chill, like I'm saying chill, but everyone's gonna be like, ah, this looks scary. Trust me, this is not the scariest 23 in this game.
We still have more levels that we can go up to.
Yeah. And we'll still keep in combo. Hopefully I don't jinx it. Nice.
Yeah, like, to reemphasize again, like, this is something that most of us could do, like, if we put in the time. Like, Zelo, very good at the game. Not a pro gamer by any stretch. Just a normal dude with a normal job and a normal life. And except he has an arcade machine in his house. Like, if you put in the work, like, you can get good at rhythm games.
Oh, he's absolutely a pro gamer in all the games he's playing. But also that PG on 23 was very, very insane. Great score.
Yeah, like, we're just, like, seeing absolutely wild scores today. Like, so many AAAs, and PGs, and EGs, and GGs.
Said they don't have GG, but they probably should.
New teams. Difficulty level 16. Level 24.
They should make like 95 a genius game and 100 a perfect game. We're still joking because they say perfect game for anything 995 and up. Even if you get a couple grades or one miss, it still says perfect game. Well, it says absolutely perfect, but still. That's not correct. So there's a question in chat, what is the highest difficulty level in this game? The highest difficulty for singles is 26, the highest difficulty for doubles is 28. Doubles start at 4 and singles start at 1. So don't be intimidated. What you're seeing is the high end of this game, but you can absolutely start with something much easier with way fewer arrows.
Yeah, and again, like this is a game that Zero has been playing for quite a long time at this point.
More
So,
than
like,
15
this
years.
is decades of experience, like, on display right now.
Yeah, and this is a step chart that very up Zero's alley because it has twisty movement and some flying. Lots of people are not good at this kind of movement nowadays, and they either manipulate the patterns or straight out just avoid the step charts. Especially since if you don't try to compete in in-person tournaments, you don't have to play everything in this game. You can get titles by just playing what you're good at. Let's send Zilo some energy, he seems a bit tired. And he still has very difficult stuff to go.
Absolutely. Love supporting all of our runners. We would not be here without them. We would not be here doing this event. Raising money for awesome charity if we did not have our runners there at the foundation of what we do. And we appreciate everything that they do.
Speaking of that, why are we here, Fox?
That's a good question, Mina. We're here because we are supporting our wonderful charity. We are here supporting True Colors United. They implement innovative solutions to youth homelessness that focus on the unique experiences of LGBTQ plus young people.
Still, great score, remembers at level 24 and Zilo is pretty tired, he's been playing non-stop for almost an hour by now.
Talk about a workout.
Yeah, pump is really good cardio if you do it consistently.
Level 24. Level 25.
So Zilo marked in his set list that he's gonna be playing this as a tribute to playing Imprinting Double 24 last time, and this song is a sequel to Imprinting. But unlike Imprinting that was licensed, this one is original, so it will stay in Pump forever. Imprinting was actually in Cytos 2 as well. I think it was there before Pump.
Cytus 2 rips. Like, shoutouts the Cytus team.
I prefer Cytos 1 myself.
They're both good.
Yeah, they're quite different. I know some people prefer 2, some people like me prefer 1. It just depends on what you like more.
I like Jockazid. So 2 has Watch Me Burn, which is a very good song, so.
I myself prefer music in 1. I think it had slightly more personality, like more variety of styles and stuff like that. But I have both and I play both.
Yeah, definitely one of the best mobile rhythm games that you can play. And I guess since we now live in a world where DJ Max Technica will just never happen again, like that's your best option.
While Technica on mobile was not very stable, I had it and it liked to crash a lot, and it didn't have too many songs, sadly.
Yeah, wish that there was a machine for that worked, but every time I go to 8 on the break, their Technica is still out of commission, unfortunately.
We don't even have any Technicas around here, sadly.
Yeah, the only thing worse than not having it is having it, but it's broken.
Yeah, so this song was also added just in May. It's very fresh. And this step chart is a monster. It has a lot of break attack, a lot of runs, and it's 174 BPM really fast. Like, you may think 174 is not as bad, especially if you're coming from 4-panel where like they play 250, 100 stuff. Like, 250. But when you have this many runs and you have also to move and to read the brackets, it's really tiring. Let's send Zero even more energy. He needs it right now. Zero, let's go. Got some hold bracket runs, some aim runs.
Some
Yep.
mod shenanigan?
Yeah, we call stairs or aim runs those patterns from side to side. It's aim run because when you look from up top to the pad, you pretty much step an M.
We love the bracket drill.
Yeah, in Pump they also like to do slightly displaced bracket drills when the arrows are not exactly at same quantization, and it's really hard to time if you try to get a PG.
Oh, this is such a great song.
An amazing song. Great play.
That's the way to go.
Very solid score for playing all whole hour straight without breaks. Very solid score.
92 calories.
Zero-
Scientifically accurate if you do exactly what the guy from the measuring event did.
Well, it's probably about 70 calories here. Zilo definitely will need to replenish his energy with some good food after this.
Level 25. Level 26.
Always replenish your protein and don't forget to consume some potassium, otherwise you're gonna get cramps if you play this game a lot. So this is the last song of this showcase, I believe, and this is a level 26. Since we're playing in premium mode, the stage break is off, so if life bar somehow drops to 0, the game will not be over and Zero will be able to continue. But as you can see, the game shows my best, and it only shows my best if the song was stage passed, so without dropping life bar to 0. Which means Zero did a great job at least once during lifetime of Phoenix. Which is impressive. 26s are not easy at all, even for pro players. Let's wish Zero luck and send him all the energy we got. Good luck.
I am sending all of my energy.
I'll just stay silent and let him concentrate, so enjoy the song. Get scared by the step chart. very, very close, and it was what, 1300 combo? Impressive for this difficulty. And also have to use hands at the end for the 6 panel press.
You'll love to see the hands.
Yo! I knew you could do it!
Yes, that's
Spitting distance from the PUWP too.
yeah, very, very close to stage passing, and as you can see, if you don't stage pass the song in this game, your grade will look like broken stone. Correct.
Next stage!
Oh, next stage, huh, game? Yeah, alright, sure. That's not the end of the showcase or anything. Oh, okay, we're just gonna go to the tech menu.
Alrighty. I hope y'all enjoyed. I am very tired, as you can tell by the end of that. 26 is in this game have gotten so hard over the years. And the fact that that's only considered a mid-level 26 now, it really showcases how hard this game gets. We didn't even cover 27s or 28s today because they're scary. But I hope y'all enjoyed the showcase. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for donating, especially for co-op. Big thanks to Power Up with Pride staff for having me again. I always love doing things for y'all. And I was happy to be a part of this again, especially for a new charity, since I had to miss out on Winter Pride just due to life obligations. Big shout outs to my loving commentators, Haru and Mina. Love y'all. Anything y'all want to say before I give a final outro?
For having us. And if you can, please donate for the great cause.
Yeah, it's a great cause. We're here all weekend. This isn't the last you're going to be seeing of me and Zelo. I'll be around in some capacity the entire weekend. I'm hosting tomorrow, and I'll be backstage Saturday, and I have my own rhythm game showcase Sunday morning, so we'll be back bright and early for 2DX, I guess. So yeah, we'll be around.
I just want to say that everything you see here over the course of this weekend, it's only because people want to do it and they put the time in to do it. And if you put the time in to do it, you can do it. And that goes for just about anything. You really can, even if it's at maybe a reduced or a little bit more restrictive role, you can do things if you really want to do them. And that's what we're here to do, is have fun and do things and help others. So thank you all for having me. Go have some Turtle Power with Tempest coming up with TMNT. And I'll be back for commentary Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was great to have all of you, and of course, we'll be seeing more of y'all later in the marathon, whether you're hosting, commentating, or doing your own runs. And with that, we are going to head to a short break. As was just mentioned, we have Tempest Mask 1000 with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And we will be back.